Leave him alone, sweetie.
Please, hurry up.
Come on.
Let's
go inside.
I don't think you're gonna make it.
Emma,
Someone get the phone, please.
Have you talked to Mum lately? Prudence and I have been trying for days, but we keep getting the answering machine. And Damien's told me she hasn't called him for ages either. If you get back into town before us, do you mind popping over and seeing Mum? I just want to make sure she's okay.
Hi, Sal. How was Portsea?
Kidsy but fun. What about the farm?
Likewise.
Any luck?
Nothing. I've not called. I should have a key too, shouldn't I?
Mum?
Margaret! Margaret!
Mum! Mum?
Hello? Could you wait a minute, please? It's the woman from the aged daycare centre. She wants to know where Paul is.
When was he meant to be there?
An hour ago.
Hour?
What do I tell him?
Tell them we don't know.
Hello? Yes, we don't actually know where Paul is. That's right.
Oh, anyone for a Merc?
Hi, I'm Detective Senior Constable Nazaretian. This is Detective Constable Fraser.
Emma Connell, I'm the one who called. This is my sister Sally, her husband, and that's their little boy up there.
Hello.
Now, Mum's diary says Fred and Janet Roach were here last Thursday. As far as we can work out, they were the last people to see them. But Janet's just told me that they were only here till about 6 o'clock. Then Mum said she'd have to kick them out because she was expected at her daughter's place for dinner, which is weird because there's only the three of us, and we were both away, and Prudence is still at Portsea.
What about Maritza? Who? Oh, their brother's wife. They live just around the corner.
Matthew, it's Sal. Did Mum and Paul have dinner with you on Thursday night?
Yeah,
Well, why didn't you say so?
I did.
No, you didn't. I would have remembered that. We've been looking for them all weekend. Can you get over here straight away?
Matthew?
Right, what's going on?
Well, why didn't you tell us you'd seen Mum on Thursday night?
Where's she gone?
We don't know. We've looked everywhere, phoned everyone. No one's seen them for days. We're going crazy here.
Okay, what's happening?
Matthew, I'm Senior Detective Constable Rob Nazaretian.
Narelle Fraser.
Mind if we ask you a
Why
few
didn't you tell us you'd seen them, Matt?
I told Sally.
No, you didn't.
What time did they leave? Did they say where they were going?
Home, I thought they were going home.
Were they okay?
Did they seem all right?
They didn't say anything about going away.
Where's my mama?
Oh, Matthew, pull yourself together.
Still ours.
You're the last one who saw them, Matt.
Well, what were they wearing? Do you remember?
I don't know. It's all blank.
God, this is hopeless.
What are you doing?
I'm calling Maritza.
Oh, you can't call her now. She's got a headache.
We need to know, Matthew. Maritza, it's Emma. Listen, I'm over at Mum's place with Matthew and the police now. He can't remember what Mum and Paul were wearing on Thursday night.
What time did they leave, Matthew? Do you remember that?
9:30, 10. Don't know.
Well, you're in fashion, Maritza. Surely you remember something.
And what sort of car do they have?
Mercedes. Silver one.
She wants to talk to you.
You know what model?
Hey, are you all right, baby? Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah, I know. I love you. Okay, I'll come home now. I have to go.
Go where?
I told you, Maritza's got a migraine.
Matthew, stay here and help us.
Have you told her we don't know where Mum is? Matt?
Well?
Nothing. We're doing up 3 whole blocks. No one's seen or heard a thing.
Hospitals are a blank too. I guess that means we can pretty much rule out a car crash.
What about their credit cards, FPOS account?
Still waiting to hear back from the bank.
Thanks, Lloyd. Didn't get lost. To get home, they just had to go down the street and around the corner.
Who knows? Maybe they wanted some time away from their children.
Those girls sure had Matt terrified, didn't they?
Well, he's not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer either. Don't they love his wife?
Emma called her his little Chilean sex kitten. Apparently, he was engaged to a nice Tuareg girl first. I got the feeling that she would have been far more acceptable.
I get the feeling you're rather enjoying this.
Saves buying a gossip mag. Is that from the bank?
Mm-hmm. They haven't spent a cent in 5 days. I'm calling homicide.
We've sent this photo to every air and seaport and major railway station in Australia. But the kids don't believe the parents would leave Melbourne without telling them, do they?
No.
OK. Let's make absolutely sure they are missing. Henry and Andrew, can you go down the usual checklist? Passports, Medicare, road toll tags. See if there's any trail at all. Thank you.
Senior Sergeant Waddell.
Steve, please.
Thanks for letting us stay on the case.
No worries. Any theories?
In Emma's statement, she claims that one of Paul's old nicknames was the Poof.
And you think he's got a jealous male lover at 73?
OK, how about a kidnapping?
Has anyone received a ransom note?
Not yet, no.
Or, of course...
They might have been murdered, which is what we're all thinking.
They're checking all the local hotels and B&Bs, but Mum wouldn't go away without telling me. No, Prue's here now, too.
I'm going right through Mum's address book, just calling everyone.
Yeah, well, I've just flown in from Canberra, so I actually haven't been to the house myself.
Police
But the
asked
police
if
have
Mum
told
had
Emma
enemies,
that
but
the
it's
alarm
just
has been
It's only a 2-minute drive from Matthew's place to Mum's.
I know, what could have happened? And do you want something to eat? You right?
Well, that's Damien. Look, I'll have to go. I think my brother's just arrived from Sydney.
Sal. Liz wanted to come.
I know. She's been coughing.
Come in, are you hungry?
Thanks, bro. Where's Matthew?
Home.
Home.
Maritz's got one of those headaches.
I just called his home. There was no answer.
Well, get off his back. There must be a reason.
Thanks, mate. Dinner's on me. Malvern Police Station.
Hello, Matthew. Detectives Nazaretian and Fraser. Sorry to bother you so early. Do you mind if we come in? Thank you. Thanks. Your brother Damien called us last night. He was a bit concerned because you weren't answering your phone.
Yeah, I've been asleep. Took a Panadine 4. Just a bit upset about my mother, you know?
Come on, we can play over here.
Maritza's had a migraine.
Sorry to disturb you, Mrs. Wales. Damien was wondering if you owed any money to anyone.
Why?
Well, your mum's car's worth over 100 grand. Maybe this is a way of collecting payment.
From who?
You.
Me?
Look, he doesn't know. He's just trying to make sense of what's happening.
Bet he thinks it's Tony, right?
Tony?
Tony and Mood. This guy used to rent my hairdressing shop off.
No, but...
My family are a bunch of snobs. That's what this is about. What do you think Maritza and me keep to ourselves? Anyone not from Toorak, Armidale or Malvern's a bit on the nose in their eyes.
Well, Do you owe this Tony guy any money?
No.
Do you owe anyone any money?
No.
But you're not currently employed, is that correct?
I used to be a hairdresser, but I had to stop due to RSI. Then we had Dominic. Now, Maritza runs a dress shop on High Street while I look after Dom.
How much rent do you reckon they're paying?
In Glen Iris, maybe $600-700 a week?
And they're living on one business wage.
Apparently.
What about the other siblings?
Well, they all look pretty comfortable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are, of course. We haven't really checked yet.
And Margaret's worth, what, 5-6 million, conservatively?
Yeah.
Well, put them all down, all 5 kids, in-laws, and if there's any ex-wives or husbands, check them out too.
Mm-hmm.
But the last people to see them alive were Matthew and Maritza.
Yes.
And we're absolutely certain they left there safe and sound.
Apparently, but it's all a bit vague in Matt's mind, though.
Well, if anything happened in that house, the wife would know something too, wouldn't she?
Not exactly swamped.
Sorry to bother you, Mrs. Wales.
Oh, Maritza.
I'm Detective Nazaretian.
Yeah, I remember.
How you feeling?
Oh, better. Thank you.
We realise you're working. I wondered if you'd have time to provide us with a statement.
Okay. It's pretty quiet today. Sure. Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a seat.
So what was their mood?
They were fine. They were really happy.
Mm-hmm. What time did they leave?
About 9:30, 9:45.
And you saw them drive away?
Yes. Matthew, me and Dominic, we waved them goodbye. And then I took Dominic up to bed.
Did Margaret and Paul say anything about where they were going?
No. I just thought they were going home.
Did Matthew leave the house at all after dinner that night?
No.
Make any phone calls?
No.
How does he get on with his mum?
I think sometimes they get on each other's horses. How can I say? None of them would budge. But it's okay. It's the same as with the other kids.
So the family in general, I mean everyone with each other, all a bit up and down?
Oh, sure. And they all get annoyed with Mum sometimes. Sometimes she's a bit standoffish, a bit snobby.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone gets along fine. Yeah, and no one has a problem with Paul. Matt said the older kids didn't like him at first when Margaret divorced their father. But now, they hardly notice him. He's not so good since a stroke anyway.
What about Matthew? How does he get on with Paul?
Matthew, he gets along the best with Paul out of all the family. He really likes him.
Pretty relaxed, isn't she? But if it was just a performance, any normal person would have crumbled in a heap the moment after we left, yeah?
No. Unless she's telling the truth.
Hi, sorry to barge in on you again.
That's okay.
I forgot to ask you something before. Have another minute?
Of course. Would you like some tea, coffee?
No, it won't take long.
Sure. How can I help?
More often than not, the last people known to see a missing person are involved somehow.
Well, I watched her very closely. And if she's not the best actress in the world, you've got to believe her.
Sorry, Steve.
Oh, my God.
Should be on in 10 minutes, just over. No.
Did you look into that guy that Matt talked about?
Yes, there's nothing to suggest that he was involved. No record, no history of that sort of behaviour.
Well, that doesn't mean Matthew doesn't owe him something.
They both deny it.
Well, of course they would.
Look, if something's happened to Mum, it'll be about money.
No one's touched her bank accounts or used her credit card.
Sure, but the car and the diamond ring she always wears, I mean, there's 200 grand right there. We know Matt had asked her for more money because she told us.
Matthew told us he didn't have any debts at all.
Matthew's always got debts. He earns nothing and he buys Maritza whatever she wants.
He's a prick, always has been. He knows who did this, or at least he knows who might have.
Has he said something to indicate this?
That's the thing. He's barely talked to us at all. That's the indication.
What exactly do you think he's done, Damien?
I don't think he's done anything. He wouldn't hurt Mum. She's his bloody lifeline. But he knows more than he's letting on.
Sorry to interrupt, but these guys are ready to go when you are.
Police are baffled by the disappearance of the wealthy couple who were last seen leaving their son's house in their prestige Mercedes E320.
Their son's house in their Mercedes, and that's it, vanished. If anyone out there has seen or heard of them, please give us a call.
We can't come to grips with who would want to hurt her. That's what's so mind-boggling about this.
We've driven the streets, taken every track they could have taken home. Just in case Mum threw something out of the car, left some kind of evidence. But there's nothing. And we're very fearful for them.
Maybe we should try and get some sleep, Em.
How can we sleep when we don't know where she is?
Have you read these articles? There's this undercurrent to it all. It's like we're living in our own rich little world and this will teach us a lesson that we're human.
Well, if it helps find it, Damien, who cares?
Well, do you feel rich? I don't feel rich. I'm feeling pretty gutted, actually. We're trying to find our mum and all they can think about is how much money she's got.
Damien, for God's sake, can't we just...
Hello, Sally Honan.
I'm sorry, Prue. Just I'm willing to help.
Thanks.
I don't know.
They found the car.
What'd you do? Start selling tickets?
I think they like the story.
Found anything?
There's nothing inside. No external damage. Damien's on his way with a spare key, though. We've warned him they might be in the boot.
If you abducted someone for money, why would you abandon a $130,000 car?
Blows Damien's debt recovery theory out of the water, doesn't it?
It'd be difficult to sell, I suppose, still. If robbery isn't the motive, what's going on? Seen the driver's seat?
Pulled right up the steering wheel.
Exactly. Which means whoever drove it here was no giant.
Hi, Matt. Why would Mum have gone to Middle Park? She's never been to Middle Park in her life.
Especially not at night. Are you okay?
She's dead. I know it.
Come on, come in.
She's dead. And Damien's going to find her.
Please stand back. Be clear.
Excuse me. Do you mind me asking a few questions?
Stand back.
Damien, have you seen your family yet?
What are they all doing here?
Serving the public interest, apparently.
Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for sinners now and at the hour of our death. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Damien.
Can we just have one statement?
You've heard from
Is this your mum's car?
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Yes. Oh, thank God. Okay. It's empty.
That means she could still be alive. Well, she might be. Of course she might be.
I'll make some coffee.
Matthew, if you're being threatened...
I'm not.
If someone's trying to set you up...
Why would anyone do that?
I don't know. But maybe by killing Mum, they're saying that you or Dominic are next.
You all think I have something to do with it, don't you? Why won't you just back off?
This isn't just happening to you, Matthew. It's happening to all of us. We are all going through hell. But at least we're sticking together. You won't even tell us what you think might have happened. You won't help with the street searches. You refuse to do any interviews. Maybe if you actually came to one of our family dinners...
I have to look after my own
You
family.
think I don't understand that? I haven't seen my wife and kids since all this started either.
She'll close up at 4.
Check what?
Oh, we need a video of Mum. Emma called a friend at one of the TV networks and asked them to run another plea from us with a clip of Mum this time. Well, she and Prue still think that Mum might be out there somewhere.
Well, thanks for calling us. That was Tom and the They were reportedly buying dips in an Albert Park supermarket. And they were well dressed, looked healthy.
Yeah, we had quite a chat.
But the police haven't dropped in yet.
Haven't seen him at all. And it's been days now since we let him know.
It's not our Margaret and Paul.
Are you sure?
Well, the guy in the shop reckons that Paul was chatting away like anyone else, when the real Paul can't even string 2 words together. Have you read these stories about the Gold Coast apartment? Margaret's father had left it to his grandchildren so that Margaret and her sister could keep the income from it.
Very generous of him.
Well, a few months ago, Margaret's sister wanted to sell, and Margaret said that she would keep half the proceeds.
And the kids thought this was their money.
The girls all thought that they had rights to be signatories to any trust fund, yeah. So they all got pissed off, and Margaret just refused to speak to any of them for weeks.
And?
Well, I'd be pretty pissed off also.
All families fight, Rob.
But they're all mourning a warm and loving grandmother. Maybe she was a bit of a dominating control freak too.
More details about Margaret's lifestyle are beginning to emerge as time goes on. She used to have weekly visits to a hairdresser who routinely charges up to $150 a visit.
They're saying they're running a hotline with information, but the follow-up is very slow. Meanwhile, the whole family is sick with worry. can more be done.
I've played her at bridge on more than one occasion. She's a very smart lady. Very polite.
Oh, God.
It's terrible.
And she kept purebred German schnauzers. Bed of choice in Armadale, apparently.
The thing is, Maritza, we stuck up posters of Mum and Paul all around Little Park today. We couldn't get away. We just thought you and Matt might have come and helped us.
Well, Matt was here with Dom. I had to mind the shop.
Why don't you close the shop?
You right?
None of us can work. We can't even think straight.
We don't have money like all of you, Sally. We don't have the choice to close the shop.
We'd help you. We could all chip in and pay someone else to run it for a while.
Matt would never take your money.
He never had any problem taking Mum's.
He just wants to be left alone. He's feeling very upset.
You know the police think Mum's been murdered.
Sally, don't say that.
What do you think, Maritza? Because I think she's been murdered too.
Just on Mum and Paul if they've got one.
Happy birthday to Dommy. Yeah, okay. Can we also get the mask off for a little happy birthday, just to say?
Well, let's have a look at this bit.
Where's your raw, Tiger? Where's your raw?
That's not a raw.
I'm going to find a special spot for this. I'm going to look at it every day. This is a wonderful hang. Hello, Angus. Hi, Mum. How are you? Good. Are we friends again? Oh, of course, you know me. Oh, those three little terrors still keeping you on your toes? Oh, they're pretty good most of the time. You make sure you look after yourself, too. Oh, come on. And you watch the boys for a while. Oh, I can't even leave him alone in the house any longer. So exhausting. I've got to put him in daycare just a few days a week. I won't have any life at all. Does he know where he is? No, I'm not sure any longer. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Could you hang on here a moment? There's a camera.
Don't choose that bit, Matt. You show that on TV, everyone see my legs.
That bit.
Yep.
Okay, done. Where's the loo?
It's up here. I'll show you.
Oh, I miss her.
You'll be okay.
Do you have any idea what happened to Matthew?
Not even a theory. Damien has a new theory every day.
I've no idea, Sally.
Credit card statements don't show anything much, by and large.
They all here?
Yep, James and Emma, Matthew and Maritza, Prue and Angus.
Why is this highlighted?
Because that's the odd one. The Friday after they went missing, Matthew drove to a petrol station a few blocks away and hired a trailer.
The other one?
We went back to his statement and he says that he was doing a bit of gardening that weekend and that he hired a trailer with his credit card. Bloke in the petrol station says that he even used his driver's licence as security.
Which is not what you'd do if you were secretly getting rid of a couple of bodies.
Exactly. Unless it's all part of some elaborate cover story.
Or you were just plain dumb.
Of course, it's fairly weak evidence on its own. There's every chance that he was actually gardening.
But it's enough to ask a judge for some bugs and a phone tap.
Do you want to hear what Maritza said to me today? She took me upstairs to show me where the bathroom was. So I go in. The next thing I hear her say in this little sexy voice.
Do you want me to hold it for you?
Oh, yuck.
This is a very stressful time for us. We're feeling a lot of pain at the moment, and we don't know what to think.
Poor things. Talk about being in the spotlight.
Unfortunately, when you're about to inherit 5 or 6 million, it's pretty hard to get some sympathy. I don't mean from us, I mean from them, out there. Why else are they all so fascinated?
Please give us a lead. Please come forward. We don't know why you've hurt our mother or taken her from us. We don't deserve it.
We just want to know what happened.
The park ranger was actually here to close the track. How lucky are we? They could have lain here for years. Do you reckon media liaison could have cut us a break from these guys?
Why the blocks?
They were chained around the bodies.
You weighed them down to bury them? Who did this, Homer Simpson?
I don't think burying them was plan A. Apparently there's a dam about half a K up the track. But fortunately for us, the gate was locked and you couldn't get to it. Anyway, 2 bodies are just 2 bodies until we get them identified.
A Parks Victoria ranger discovered the shallow grave during a routine check early this afternoon. It was just metres from a dirt track 25 kilometres east of Marysville. He originally believed the mound to be a lyrebird's nest, but after investigating further, he discovered what he believed to be a body. It turned out to be 2 bodies, one on top of the other. Autopsy results are needed to determine their age, sex, and how the couple were killed.
So she was bashed and maybe even strangled.
Reports so far indicated that the bodies had been there for about 2 weeks. The man leading the investigation into the disappearance of 68-year-old Margaret Wales King and her husband, 70-year-old Paul King, visited the gravesite, but homicide detectives won't confirm if the bodies are those of the missing Armadale couple. The pair vanished after leaving a relative's house on April the 4th in their luxury Mercedes-Benz, which was found in Middle Park a week later. Their disappearance baffled police and shattered a family.
Come on.
Detectives say the area where this grave was found is often used by logging contractors and deer hunters. They hope anyone who was in the area in the past month can provide them with vital clues for the next stage of the investigation.
They know about the trailer.
Who?
The press. Well, I don't know, but they've interviewed the guy at the petrol station.
Bloody hell. Were you followed?
I didn't see anyone.
Well, they're all saying Matthew did it.
There's always someone who likes feeling important when they're in the know, isn't there?
Could have been lots of people, though, Steve, not just us. There's uniforms downstairs, they're partners.
You getting anything? Right. The blind's open. And
The discovery of the bodies of alien husbands unidentified the police, the soldiers who...
Matthew, was Margaret under any medication? Atenolol was present in her blood. It's a drug for hypertension.
I don't know. I don't think so. It's Mum and Paul.
Your brother and sisters have asked to see the grave.
I'll be escorting them there tomorrow, if you like.
Oh, I can't go. Can't possibly. It's too upsetting.
It's entirely up to you.
Would you mind please leaving now?
I'm afraid we can't, Matthew. We have a warrant to search the premises.
How are the family coping?
Got anything?
What are you looking for when you go inside the house?
Is there any update on the investigation?
Come on, mate.
Get a shot of those, please.
Richard, what can you tell us? Where's Matthew? Matthew inside the house?
I'm very proud of you.
Has Matthew been charged yet?
Do you know anything about the murder?
Has the family said anything yet? Can you give... Please talk to Matthew about the trailer.
Has Matthew seen the body?
What's Matthew said? Has Matthew told them anything yet? Just one other comment, please.
If the trailer was hired on the Friday, when were they killed?
Well, they never made it home, so Thursday night.
So, where did he keep the bodies until he got the trailer?
In the garage, in the house, who knows?
Maritza had to know then, didn't she? I mean, if you're living in a house with a couple of bodies...
Absolutely, and let's not forget she's only 5'1".
What is surveillance saying about their conversations?
Nothing. All they talk about is the shop and Dominic. And Matthew keeps saying how much he loves her. But they're pretty sure they write notes to each other.
Sounds like they got some advice from a good solicitor.
Well, we've got a pretty strong case against them here, don't we?
The press think we do.
They're always quick with opinions. It's probably 50-50. We went with what we've got now. Matthew could plead guilty to being an accessory after the fact and swear to God he didn't kill them. We need a witness who saw what happened, or we need to get more out of Matthew and Maritza. If we put any overt pressure on them, a good defence barrister will say it was a confession under duress and we lose the case.
Well, if we can't put pressure on him, who the hell can?
At present, Matthew is our main person of interest, Damien. The press are right about that.
And whoever it was must have had his help and access to his garage.
Well, that would explain the available facts, yes.
So why not just ask him who it was?
There's a process to this sort of investigation.
Steve, come on, just bring the bastard in and lay it on him.
We're not in a position to do that.
But he's got to know, doesn't he? I mean, given all this, you can't still believe that he doesn't.
No, I think he probably does.
Is it true your parents were alive for several hours after being knocked unconscious?
Does Matthew have a drug problem?
Line, Emma. One of Mattie's old clients.
Any comments, please? Anything at all? Do you believe Margaret was killed by someone she knew?
What have the police told you about their main suspect?
Matthew was charged with being knocked unconscious and to die.
Any comment on your parents being knocked unconscious?
Were they knocked unconscious and then left to die?
How are you coping with all this?
I don't know. I don't want to leave the house anymore.
You'd hardly be able to.
I think we're going to move.
Move?
Where?
Cute. I've rented a house. It's near Maritza's family. No, people won't know us as much over there.
Well, everyone knows you. Your face is in the paper every other day.
You and Maritza will be at the funeral, won't you?
Yeah.
We've organised a car to pick you up tomorrow.
We could at least say thank you, since neither of you have bothered to help with the arrangements. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Maritza couldn't care less about this family.
Emma,
Maritza's my wife and I love her.
I don't know why. You know, when she told me that you have to have your husband by the balls, I didn't realise how much she meant it.
Emma.
Maritza's a good person. She comes from a good family.
Emma, leave it.
The police told us that you'd refused to give them a DNA sample.
My lawyer told me not to. Don't worry, one day you'll get it.
Matt, why won't you help?
Protecting my family.
We are your family.
My direct family. Maritza and Dominic, I have to protect them.
What from? I mean, we're trying to find the murderers who killed our mother.
What?
Okay.
Matthew, what are you doing?
You have no idea what goes on here. None of you have ever cared about me. We were over watching the news at Sally's the other night. I saw the photos on her sideboard. Everyone's there except me, Maritza and Dom. You think I don't notice?
So what?
What? How would you feel?
We send birthday presents to you guys every year. You have never sent Liz or my boys anything. It cuts both ways, you know.
Just leave us alone.
Who did it, Matthew? Get out. Get out! who did it. Get out of my house. Just tell me. You get out. Who did it? Get out.
That's not an admission, is it?
All the police are saying is that they were wearing the same clothes they had on when they left Matthew's house. Apart from that, we really don't know very much. But the family have said they'll be holding a private funeral service at a secret...
This is all very secretive, Paul. Private meetings with anonymous clients.
Well, a friend of mine with a practice out in the suburbs just said I've got someone in my office I think you better see.
Well, at least he's a punctual anonymous client. Come in.
Morning. I'm Paul Garberley, solicitor. This is Philip Dunn, QC.
Hello.
Come in, have a seat.
Mrs. Wales, I presume. Can I ask, are you on your own?
We're beginning to look like idiots. Half of Melbourne knows about the trailer, the shackles and the doona cover, and they're out there saying, why aren't they arresting them?
We don't have anything new. If we arrest them now, we mightn't get a conviction.
Or we might. But if we leave it, shit, Matthew's feeling the pressure, we know that. If he has to sit through the funeral...
He might crack and we'll get a confession.
You worried he might top himself?
Yeah, I am.
If he does, the press will crucify us for not reacting fast enough.
There's no need to rush, Maritza. No, this can't be easy.
But it's not an interrogation. We won't ask any questions. There's no Bible to swear on. We just need to hear your story, which we can promise will be in confidence. And if we feel we can help, we shall.
It's just been a nightmare. For the first couple of days, I didn't know where I was. That night, I said goodbye to Mum and Paul, and then taken Dominic up to bed. Then I came down and saw what he'd done. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do. So I go to the shop. I just keep going on and going on in like this fog, and I'm saying to Matt, you've got to tell them. But he always wants a few more days with us. He loves us. He loves Tommy. But now I think he's so long, and they know so much anyway. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
What do you think? Well, perhaps I'm being naive, but if she wasn't telling the truth, and truly from the heart, then she's the best actress in the world.
Yes, I'm sure she's being honest with us.
So what next?
Well, given that the net appears to be closing fast, our first goal must be to ensure that she's not charged with murder. That would be a disaster.
Mama. No. Mama.
Ethan, Mum, we're not here for him. Stay in here. This isn't about him, it's for Mum. We're here for Mum.
Come on. Come on. Come on, Fred. Come on.
Are you and Maritza okay?
Yeah.
We couldn't get away from them. We got back to Sally's place and they were shoving microphones in our faces. There were all sorts of calls from mags and TV programs wanting to pay for an interview.
Yeah, I know.
I think Sally and Damien are going to hire a public relations company.
Yeah?
Or we have to manage it somehow. It's getting impossible.
Yeah.
We're going to the cemetery tomorrow.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it.
Matt, we're burying Mum's ashes. You have to be there.
I just want to be alone with Dominic.
Is there anything that you want to say to me?
Look, Prudence, when I'm ready, I will talk to you. I just need some more time.
I'm your greatest friend at the moment.
I just want to be alone.
That night, I would have been the person to call.
I just want to be alone.
I know where you were at.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Prue, nobody knows where I'm at.
Matt, whatever happened, we will work through this together, okay?
Yeah? Can I speak to you tomorrow, please?
Promise me.
I promise.
Matthew, have you got any comment you can give us? Matthew, how are you feeling? Have you anything to Sergeant? Matthew? Prue?
Have you been told of any other arrests?
How's the family coping? How is everyone? Is the family talking to them? Give us something, Prue. Have you seen Maritza?
Just leave them alone, for God's sake.
Excuse me, Steve. We've got a couple of suits here to see you. Reckon they're lawyers from Maritza, Wales.
Okay.
Thank you for agreeing to meet with us, Detective Sergeant. We believe that we can help with the investigation.
We don't need any help, thank you.
Well, perhaps we can save you some time and trouble.
I doubt it.
Let's say our client could give you something to help you, which would be enough to charge her with an offence.
Such as?
Perverting the course of justice, perhaps? Something of that nature. You charge her and not oppose her bail. If you decide she hasn't been frank with you, you can charge her with something more substantial later on.
And what can your client give us in return?
A statement identifying the murderer.
We've just arrested Matthew. He will be charged with the murders of both Margaret and Paul throughout the course of the day.
Okay. So you crushed up the drugs and put them in the soup
That's right.
that Margaret and Paul both ate.
Yes.
And then after dinner,
Maritza went upstairs to feed Dom at 9 o'clock. And then what happened was... I'm just trying to remember, it's all so confusing in my head. Once Maritza went upstairs, Mum and I went outside with Paul. And I hit them with a block of wood on the back of the neck. Then I just kept on hitting. My head was just going bananas.
and you say there was no screams, no shouts, no noise or anything?
I didn't hear anything. But my adrenaline was just going crazy. I felt like a mad dog. But I felt like, I don't know, I felt like relieved.
In what way?
Just like all my pain had gone. And then I went inside and upstairs to see Maritza.
What happened?
I hit them.
What? I came downstairs and the lounge room lights were off, which was strange. And the front door was open. So I went outside and
Get inside! Get inside! Get inside!
What happened, man? No.
Baby.
No.
I had to do it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Baby. Baby.
What have you done? What have you done?
Baby, I had to do it.
Don't touch me.
Baby, I did it for us.
Don't touch me! Oh, Matt. Matt. Oh.
In the post-mortem that was conducted on your mother and Paul, pathologist made a finding of death by asphyxia.
That's what I find strange, because there was no strangulation at all. I hit them on the back of the neck. I didn't torture them at all.
Where'd you get the block of wood?
The block of wood was outside. It was already there.
Are you saying that you prepared for this event?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because there's so much animosity and hurt between my mother and myself. Basically, You want to know the motive behind it, is that it?
I want to know the reason, yeah.
Everybody will probably think it's about the money, okay?
Okay.
And it is about the money.
Okay.
But not for the use of me getting the money. It's the way she used her power for money. And she used it against us all the time. And she just alienated me from my family as well.
Okay. Did you discuss this plan with anyone?
No, not at all.
Did you talk about it with Maritza?
No, not at all. My wife had no idea what was going on.
Maritza, you're going to be charged with perverting the course of justice.
What does that mean?
It means you assisted Matthew.
My family is a good family. I was brought up so good. I can't believe this shit is happening to me. I didn't do anything. I didn't. Robert, I didn't know anything that happened. Nothing, Robert. I swear to God, I didn't help Matthew to do anything. Just because he told me to lie about that. I was like scared every day. Every day. Oh.
Bullshit. Until the bodies were discovered, she didn't have a care in the world. You guys went and saw her at a shop. Did she seem scared to you? No. She was lying through her teeth and you guys didn't pick a thing.
And she is being charged for that.
What about the car?
Matt says he drove it.
Why was the seat up near the steering wheel if Matthew drove it?
Sally, forensics have crawled all over that car for evidence of someone else being in it, and they have not found a thing.
And because of that, we have to believe Matthew.
Why not?
Why not? Because he also says he never strangled them when they were strangled. He says he went up to the bedroom and told Maritza what he'd done, but she says she found him outside. And he also says he drugged them both, when the autopsy report shows it was only in Mum.
Every case has its inconsistencies.
But if he's lying about that, what else is he lying about?
Do you really think we're hearing the truth?
Both statements are essentially the same, Damien. He attacked them without Maritza's knowledge and then she found out what he'd done. Now, if we had any physical evidence contradicting that, we'd pursue the matter further. But the hard fact is we don't.
Except the bodies were lying there for hours.
An hour or so, according to the autopsy.
They still would have been alive when she discovered what had happened, and yet she made no attempt to check that, no attempt to call the police or the ambulance, and no attempt to own up to anything until the bodies were discovered and she knew the game was up.
None of which is evidence of murder. She perverted the course of justice, and that is precisely what she's being charged with.
Will it mean jail?
Very likely. But she's pleaded guilty, so there won't be a trial as such. It'll be up to the sentencing judge and the submissions put before him.
And what about us? What about our questions? When do we get some answers?
Put them in your victim impact statement.
Great.
They're your voice, Damien. The judge is obliged to read them. They're your chance to be heard.
They've just arranged all this so that Matthew takes the blame. That's what's going on.
In your opinion?
If you decided to plan and prepare a murder, do you really think you'd do it while your wife and kid were at home?
Damien, our tests show that Matthew has an IQ of 83.
We still don't understand what happened.
Yeah, you do. You all hated it too.
No, we didn't.
Well, what about the cat fight over the apartment?
We fought, Matt, but we didn't. We still loved her.
I thought when you got over it, you'd all say thanks.
Was it just you?
Yes. That's right. Can't face that, can you? You never believe a thing I say anyway.
I want to know what happened.
You just want to hear what you want to hear. To hell with trying to look at yourselves and what you've all done. This is it. Okay?
So everyone's just believing their story, is that it? The police won't ask any more questions and the lawyers can't?
That's right.
Well, what's the point of having a judiciary if they don't want to find out the truth? I mean, why won't anyone listen? Why isn't anyone on our side?
5 minutes before news time, and I'm joined by Damien Wales and Sally Honan, who I'm sure need no introduction. Damien, now the investigation into your mother's death is drawing to a close, can you tell us how you feel about the way it's unfolded?
Well, Neil, the thing is, we can't come to terms with the fact that what Maritza did isn't a criminal act. My children have lost their grandmother and their grandfather. If Maritza had done the thing by common decency and called the police when they were bashed, they might be alive today.
She claims that she was catatonic with shock, but if she was, we didn't see it. And if she wasn't, well, why not call the police? There's just so many
Taking it in a
things.
wider context, we just want to know what happened. We thought the justice system was there for precisely that reason. That's all we're asking for.
I believe we can keep you out of jail, Maritza. They're not claiming you did anything apart from make a false statement. Now, at some stage during the hearing, the public prosecutor may refer to the statements made to the police by Matthew's family. I think it's better that you don't hear them for the first time in front of them all in the court. Look, please understand that what is driving all these pieces of blanket character assassination is a desperate desire to blame someone else. It is for the Wales family easier to accept that Matthew was pressured into doing this from someone from outside their gene pool than to accept they have a murderer within it. I'm afraid they're shamelessly derogatory.
That's okay.
For example, when Damien came to your home to view footage of Margaret for the news, he said, "When we got to the bathroom, I walked in, and as she went to close the door, she said to me in this sexy voice, 'Do you want me to hold it for you?' Obviously referring to my penis." And what's your response to this allegation?
I'll pick you up about 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What time does Dominic wake up?
1:30 usually, but that's okay. Although if I have to go to jail, I guess I can't come back.
No, if it's jail, it'll go straight from court.
Okay.
Happy with two.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tommy.
Bye-bye.
Eyes closed now. Shh. You know, Mummy loves you so much.
Two.
Don't look at him.
Feel okay?
Yeah. I
was just thinking that time with Damien in the bathroom. So much has happened, it's taken me a while to remember, but it was the door. Well, I showed him where it was, and then I remembered the door didn't close properly. So I held it with a finger and pulled it closed again and just said, "Do you want me to hold it for you?"
I will show the court the Maritza we know. Decent lady from a good family with a son who loves her, needs her. A son who doesn't understand why his dad doesn't come home.
He's been asking if Santa's going to bring him home.
That's good, Paul, that's good.
No, he has.
He's been asking, will Father Christmas bring his father home? And Father Christmas is not going to bring his father home, is he? We also have to broaden the picture, though, Paul. As well as winning sympathy from a judge, we have to reverse a public attitude. Your Honour, what Matthew did on the night of April the 4th was thoughtless and horrible. He catapulted his wife into a nightmare. And Maritza was so shocked that she fell back on her old-fashioned values. Family and respect.
Oh, bullshit. Old-fashioned values, gold-digging slut.
So that when Matthew asked her to give him time, she did. And she feels guilty about that. Ultimately, however, she did go to the police before Matthew confessed. Sadly, Your Honour, what has overshadowed this case has been the unfortunate media publicity, a large amount of which has been engendered by the Wales King family and their hired public relations firm. I don't know what the purpose of going on the radio is for this family, but they have, amongst other things, made public comments saying that they'd be unhappy if Maritza got a suspended sentence. They have deployed their money and influence to revile this woman publicly when she's incapable of defending herself.
It's okay.
I can't believe the press are buying all this.
Just stay calm.
And put up with that? Maritza's coming out of this smelling of roses.
I don't believe this crap.
Listen to me, please. Just cool down a bit. You don't want the judge thinking you're trying to influence the court.
Us? We can't even open our mouths.
At least they'll get to hear our side of things in the victim impact statements.
I agree with the Crown that the killing of Margaret and Paul became Matthew's ultimate expression of financial and emotional independence, and that afterwards he felt relief. But none of this justifies your actions, and I sentence you on count 1 for the murder of Margaret Wales King to 20 years imprisonment, and on count 2 for the murder of Paul King to 20 years imprisonment. Despite this, Matthew's lack of planning in regard to the disposal of the bodies and a car bear all the hallmarks of a poorly thought-out solo enterprise. It is therefore my finding that Maritza Wales played no role in the killings, and I want to dispel any public misconceptions that might exist about that. There is no evidence linking Maritza to the murders at all. I have read the family's victim impact statements, but they are lengthy and I feel it's not necessary to read them out to the court. Taking into account the circumstances of the offence, as outlined by Mr. Dunn, that I found compelling, I sentence you, for perverting the course of justice, to a 2-year term of imprisonment, to be suspended for a total of 2 years. Such a sentence would give you the opportunity to look after your child. Remove the prisoner and adjourn the court.
Have your attention. I'm the public representative for the Wales family, and I'd like to say that the family will be issuing a statement shortly. I'd also like to ask that the family be given room as they leave the courtroom. Many of them are suffering psychological effects of the crimes, and I appeal to you to remember that they are victims. Thank you.
Fuck them, I'm not moving.
Tommy, what do you think of the verdict?
Do you think we'll tell the truth?
Dominic has kept his mother out of jail.
This whole court case is being dictated by what my brother and sister-in-law have had to say.
Are the police happy with how things have worked out?
As far as the Victoria Police are concerned, the case is over, the investigation is concluded and the matter solved. Thank you.
Would you like to make any further comments?
No.
Well, do you have any comments to make?
Do you care to comment at all?
Anything further to say? Larissa, have you spoken with the family?
Larissa, will you be seeing Matthew in jail?
Does Dominic understand what's happening?
Do you think you'll see any of Margaret's money?
We are greatly disturbed that the investigation and sentencing process has not uncovered the full facts and truth behind the horrific murders of our loving, cherished and devoted mother and stepfather. The Crown Prosecutor noted that the version of events provided by our brother to police was not necessarily an accurate version of events, and that there was a number of puzzling features in the case. Our family cannot rest until every appropriate step is taken towards uncovering all the facts. We believe we have a right to the full facts. We believe the public has a right to know.